Welcome back to Walk in Transformation. I am Richard Coles and I am your host. As the song has been saying, today is all about your feelings. What's going on the inside? What are you feeling? You know, it is absolutely true that the way that you feel dictates the way that your day is going to go. The opposite is not true. The way that your day goes never dictates the way that you're feeling. You know, we've heard people say things, oh man, he must have woke up on the wrong side of the bed. The fact of the matter is that if we're feeling some kind of way, you do have control over that, and you can change that because it is a choice to stay there. It's okay to rest there for a moment. That's why we have these emotions. It's okay to rest there for a moment. But to stay there in sadness, anger, loneliness, regret, fear, to stay there in feeling abandoned or feeling like you've been done wronged or feeling like something has been taken away from you, that is to put yourself in a self-imposed prison. And you don't need that. You don't need that at all, especially when you have the power to free yourself. How does it feel, for instance, when you have to go back to work after having a couple of days off and you know that you made a huge mistake that you're going to have to be accountable for? There's a lot of fear there. You really kind of dread going back to work. But when you get there and you deal with the situation, 9 times out of 10, it's not as big as you thought it was. That's because whatever we pour the nourishment of our thoughts over tends to grow. It's just like planting something in a garden. If we continue to give that plant or those seeds or whatever nourishment, they will grow strong and healthy. And if you continue to pour your thoughts over your fears like, she doesn't love me the way that she used to. I know she doesn't because she doesn't act that way. Or, he just feels differently towards me because he looks at me differently. It's going to grow. It's going to grow until it's so overwhelming, you find yourself locked in to a self-imposed prison of fear, anger, sometimes bitter, sometimes regret. And we can end up sabotaging situations that we're in that are good situations. I'm talking about from the job, to business relationships, to any kind of relationship, just because of a fear that we have. Now, it could be a fear that's imagined. It could be a fear that's real. It doesn't matter. Whatever we pour the nourishment of our thoughts over will grow. One of the things that I ask you is, why is it that you feel this way? Why is that such an overwhelming and all-consuming thought or fear that you have? Well, it's because of your story. It's because of your story. And your story is something that has been unconsciously building you up to a point where you feel that way, just like on autopilot. You may be sharp as could be, and you may be most definitely one of the most promising people that's in your circle of friends or your circle of associates or whatever the case may be. But when you get home, who you really, really are surfaces. And that person craves encouragement, nourishment, and most of all, love, self-love from you. I'm not talking about anything perverse. Self-love from you. In other words, the you that you come face to face with when you go home and everybody else is gone, the work doors are closed, and you've gotten off of the subway or you're out of the car and the radio's not on, distracting you, that person just wants to know that you love them and that they matter to you. Or in other words, you want to know that you matter enough to yourself. And yes, you do. But life can pile so much stuff on top of us that we forget about that we forget about giving ourselves the kind of love that we need. We forget about that, and we end up thinking thoughts that are negative, because you don't have to plant negative thoughts. They just come up, they just spring up. Just like you don't have to plant weeds in a garden. They just spring up. What you do have to do, though, is you have to pull them out. You got to get rid of those things. So what are you doing to get rid of the weeds in your mind? Look, it's time to start speaking life into yourself. It's time to start speaking encouragement into yourself. It's time to start speaking to yourself like you really, really love yourself, not like you think you love yourself. It's time to start speaking to yourself as you really, really are. You are fearfully and wonderfully created as a victorious creature, as a wondrous creature, as someone who can do whatever it is that you want to do. Anything you set your mind to, you are a winner. And I don't say that from a standpoint of competition. I say that from a standpoint of you being who you are. Don't ever think that a situation is bigger than you. Don't ever think that some person is bigger than you. Don't ever think that some circumstance has control of you or dictates your life. That is not who you are. You are someone who looks at a situation and goes, okay, this is where I am. This is what the situation is. Okay, what's next? And you take the first step. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. You got to take that first step. But before you even take that first steps, you got to wrap your arms around yourself. Wrap your arms around yourself and say, you can do this. You can do this. Look, if you don't believe in yourself, you got to believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, who else is going to believe in you? Who else is going to believe in you? You got to know when everyone else has doubt, man, I can solve this situation. I can solve this situation, or I can correct whatever mistake that I made. I can correct whatever mistake I made. And guess what? It won't happen again, because I'm the kind of person who learns from the mistakes he makes or she makes. You got to be thinking to yourself, look, you know what? I'm an amazing woman. Yes, I got some work to do on myself, but I'm loving, I'm compassionate, I'm kind, I'm understanding, I'm not selfish, I'm selfless, and I love my friends, I love my family. I love with unconditional love. Is it a process? Yes, it is, and I'm getting closer and closer to that every day. When you walk past that mirror, you got to stop and say, whoa! Hey, hello, beautiful. I missed you. I haven't seen you in a while. Oh my God, how did I ever make it without you? Look, you look amazing, and I love that look in your eyes. You know what? You go on out there, you do what you got to do, because I got your back, because I love you. You have to be willing to say these kinds of things to yourself. And if you don't believe it, you just continue to say it, because sooner or later you will believe it, because it is the truth. So much of this stuff that life has piled on top of us has made us believe in some truth that's not the truth. It's made us believe in a truth, but not the truth. The truth is that you have the capacity to love. You have the capacity to give. You have the capacity to achieve. You can learn anything you want to learn. You can do anything that you want to do within reason. Am I saying go out here and be an astronaut if you're 60 years old? I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to say no. But whatever you put your heart and mind to, you can accomplish. Man, you will be amazed at the things that you can do. Amazed at the things that you can do. Don't believe me? What about the woman who had her child trapped under a car? She, by herself, lifted that car off of her child. Why? Because she had to. She had to. And she had to call on herself, the superwoman inside of her, to save her child. She did that. What about the man who absolutely absolutely ran a marathon. And at the end of that marathon, he realized, wait a minute. I've only got one leg. Yes, I've got a prosthetic leg too, but I just ran a marathon. You know what? He wasn't thinking about that. I'm sure he thought about it a little bit, but he ran. He ran. Because a man with a prosthetic leg is not who he is. He is a man with a heart. So when you get confronted with people that want to tear you down, you let them tear, because they can't tear you down. All they're doing is tearing themselves down. When your boss is giving you so much flack, you take that energy, and you turn it into winning energy. You turn it into overcoming energy. And you say to yourself, you know what? Okay, I get you. I hear where you're coming from. But now let me go to work. And don't be fearful of who you are. We are so afraid of who we really are. If we came face to face who we really are, man, it would scare the life out of us. But we are much more than we could ever imagine. So don't you ever forget that woman who wakes up at 4 o'clock in the morning. She is amazing, and she happens to be you. Why are you up at that hour in the morning anyway? It's because you've got something to do. And you've got your heart and your mind set on it, and it's going to get done. Now, you don't have to settle for a life of mediocrity. You don't have to settle for a life of lack. You don't have to settle for a life that you want to trade in for somebody else's life. You have to say to yourself, you know what? I'm so glad that I'm me. I wish everybody else could feel what I feel. You might say to yourself right now, Richard, dude, come on. I don't feel that. You are obviously amped up on something. Man, I'm amped up on me. And you have that same stuff inside of you. Just release it. Just let it go. Stop being afraid to be who you are and drop this fictional character that you have created. Be you. You be you. You hear people say it all the time. Hey, man, just do you. Well, go ahead. Do you. Don't do who they think you should do. Don't do who you've been told you should do. Do you. And guess what happens? The music changes. My friend. It's no longer a nice, slow, somber song. It's full with energy. It's filled with energy. And it energizes everybody that come in touch with it. Everybody whose ears pick it up. It energizes them. Your energy is infectious. But you must infect yourself first. Lisa Nichols said it best. I love her with all of my heart. She said, you have to be the first one to show the rest of the world how to love you. And I'll take it even further. You have to be the first one to say that I don't care if the rest of the world loves me, because I love me. This is Richard Coles of RHCG Motivation. And yes, I am your host. And yes, I am truly in love with me. And you know what? I love you. And if you don't really feel that way about yourself, I will love you until you love yourself. Because I've got enough love in my heart, and I'll continue to pour it out. That way I get more. The more you give, the more you get. How much water can you put in a full glass? Not very much, my friend. But if you pour some of that water out into somebody else's glass who doesn't have any, you can put more water in your glass. Fill your glass, then pour some out. The way to overcome your situations, your issues, your problems, your troubles is to get positively involved in the life of someone else who has troubles as well. When you come back to your troubles after doing that, you'll find that your situation has been solved. It's how we were created. This is Richard Coles. of RHCG Motivation. There is greatness inside of you. That is why I salute the Creator in you, and I behold the Christ in you, and I speak health, wealth, prosperity, and purpose into your life right here, right now. And as I promised, that first interview, it is coming up, and it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a very good one. And you make sure that you place yourself in a position to receive and speak life into you. Change your inner dialogue. Let your inner dialogue really make your heart jump instead of just living a life of somber acceptance that this is just who you want or who you are. It doesn't have to be that way. Greatness doesn't mean that you have to end up being a multi-millionaire. Greatness just means that you be the best at whatever you choose. God bless you. Take care. Walk in transformation every day.